Hey guys, so I have Sector 1 from this Conquest series all set for you. So this is a series where we are trying to unlock the Fury class Interceptor Darth Revan's, Malgus's ship, which we will need to get Darth Revan's capital ship. So I've gone through Sector 1 on my own account and on Professor X as well. And a lot of these teams I'm going to show you are really great. I've been using them to make their way through the sector, which is nice, and also kind of work towards some global feats at the same time while working on the Sector 1 feats. So I'll go over a little bit of that. And a lot of them I don't have data discs equipped on. So if you're concerned that your gear levels might not be high enough or your relic levels might not be high enough, equipping your data discs is definitely going to make a difference in that. So I'll let you know which ones don't have discs on, which ones I do have discs on, etc. But before I show you the teams, we'll go over the feats as usual. And I do want to talk about a couple of bugs or issues that have come up that we've already noticed in this conquest. So I'm going to do that while we go over the feats. Okay. So the feats for Sector 1, just as a refresher, you need to defeat 50 enemies with Jedi units, pretty straightforward. Attempt to inflict evasion down 40 times. Gain secret intel 80 times. So a reminder, the only character that's going to let you do that is BB-8. And then attempt to inflict blind 60 times. So overall, this is actually a really straightforward sector, and it's really smooth to get done. There's a lot of overlap you can work with, and it is very, very nice. But before I show you the teams, like I mentioned, there are a couple of bugs and things that we are noticing. The first one being that the data discs have not actually been removed. So we were under the impression that Zealous Ambition, Fortified, and Entrenched would be removed from the list of discs that we could select from. They are still in there and active. You can choose them. But they did add Amplify Agony and Caustic Emission. So all of those discs that they said that they were going to add have been added. And for whatever reason, these discs have not been removed. I don't know if that's going to be fixed moving forward. As of right now, when I'm recording this, they haven't said anything about it. So whether they fix that, I don't think they will fix it for this conquest, to be completely honest with you. I think it'll be unfair to the player base to do that. But if they fix it for the next two series, just keep that in mind that if you're relying on Zealous Ambition, you might not have it the next Conquest run. So just kind of take that when you're building your discs, when you're using your teams, and remember that for future. The other thing that is happening is there are two, I don't want to say, one of them is definitely a bug. The other one is an interesting thing with phrasing for feats, but along the boss nodes and the sectors, one of the feats says that you need to win without using a galactic legend present on your team. That feat is bugged. That feat used to be to win without using any Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users. It was the Hokey Religions feat. That is what is triggering right now in the background. That's what's coded. So if you take in a, say, CLS team or a GAS 501st team, you won't get credit for the feat, even though you don't have a Galactic Legend on your team, because it's noticing that you have a Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force user. So you don't want to do that. I believe that they will hotfix that. But as of right now, your best bet is to go in without a Galactic Legend and without any Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users. So it is safe and straightforward to get it done. You will get credit for it. You just have to be very careful about the characters you're selecting going in. The other thing is the global feat, where you need to win with Mother Talzin, Old Daka, and Marin on your squad. They need to survive in order to get the credit for winning. So it is doable. My Marin is 3-star gear 7. Just for reference, you will see it later on, and she does survive. So it is 100% doable, especially, like I said, once you get some data discs going, you should be okay. The great thing here is you have Old Daka with them, so she can revive. So just kind of keep that in mind before you panic. It is doable. Again, building your data discs and going against the right team is also going to be a big help for you there. Okay, so enough of that. Let's look at the actual teams I've used for Sector 1, and then we can move on. So the first feat I want to show you is the Nightsister Global feat. So this is where you need to win with Talzin, Old Daka, and Marin on your squad. And like I said earlier, they do need to survive for the win to count. I've tried it with Marin not surviving, and it doesn't count. I've also had where Talzin doesn't survive and it doesn't count. Dako doesn't survive and it doesn't count. So you need all three. It's not just one of them. So like you can see, I'm taking Supreme Leader Kylo with Watt against a node here. This is a Jedi Training Rey node, which I want to point out because I found it really interesting how this interacted. So like I said, Jedi Training Rey, there are no data discs equipped on my squad right now. My Marin is a 3-star gear 7. So the great thing, like I mentioned earlier as well, is that Old Daka's there. She can revive them. And then I just kind of made my way through trying to take out who I thought was like the riskier enemies right away. So I really wanted to get rid of Resistance Hero Finn first, get past the taunt with Holdo there, and then make my way through the rest of the team. And again, Daka is going to revive Talzin again here so that we can make sure we have our full squad before we move on. But what I thought was really interesting with this team, and why I specifically wanted to show it, is that they seemed to really only care about Talzin when Talzin was alive. So my Gear 7 Marin didn't even get touched. And I really want to point that out so that you can see that moving forward. So really straightforward. Like I said, they do need to survive for you to get credit for the win. And that is that. So let's have a look at another global feat before we move on. All right. So this is the 100 kills defeat 100 enemies with Cal or Cere on your team. So I am going to use a Jedi Master Luke led team. I'm going to take Watt to force the taunt on him. Obviously, I want Cal. You can see mine is 5-star gear 11. And then 2 other Jedis with him so that we can also call Cal with those other Jedi. I like to use Shock and HYoda just to kind of keep the person you want getting the kills, so in this case Cal, alive longer. Also, they're not going to steal any kills because a few of HYoda won't steal any kills at all, but Shock has 2 attacks where she doesn't even attack. So I found that they are generally pretty safe to take with you. So you can see I'm going against a 501st team. It's very straightforward. The only thing I am basically doing is calling Cal nonstop with Jedi Master Luke, HYoda, and Shock. And I want him to get all of the kills, and he does. So this is really refreshing to see. If you can do this exactly, have this play out with the proper RNG exactly like this, it would only take you 20 battles to get this feat done. And when you're comparing that to, say, winning 40 times with this Nightsisters on your team where they do need to survive, it is makes this feat a little bit more approachable and appealing, in my opinion. So I definitely would recommend going after it, especially if you have Jedi Master Luke. You will be able to get it done no problem. You can see that Cal is getting all of the kills here. And he will land this last one. And we should have 5 Cal kills now. So again, you don't need to have him and Cere on the squad. One of them is fine. Both of them, if you want both of them, is fine as well. But you can see we have 5 now ready to go. And we should get that done pretty decently, I would say. Okay. So moving on, the next one that I want to look at going against this Phoenix node, we are going to focus on getting secret intel and also evasion down. So I am going to go in with a full resistance squad. I thought about making this an unaligned force user squad, and then once you add in BB-8 though, that goes out the window. So you can't double dip in that sense, unfortunately, but at least you're able to also focus on evasion down. So I am bringing Holdo because she has an AoE that attempts to inflict evasion down on the enemies. You could also bring in Chupio instead of, say, R2. And he has an evasion down on his basic. He also has blind. So you could work your way that way through the feats as well in that regard. So again, BB-8 is the only character on our rosters that can give us this secret intel. And if you are not aware of how it works exactly, his middle ability lets secret intel go out onto an ally that doesn't already have it. And then the rest of your allies here, they will also get secret intel once it's out there when they start using their specials. So if you have them start doing that, that's how you're going to spread it among your team pretty quickly. And then you just want to spam his middle button, his middle ability there to get it out even faster. And again, we have to gain it quite a few times. So it is going to take a couple of battles, unless, of course, you are able to really drag the fight out and time out. But overall, it's not too bad. And if you're getting this done while you're making your way through the sector, it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't really feel like a grind, and you're able to just kind of push forward without focusing too hard on the feats that you're working on. So we can just skip to the end here. It's nice to get the win, and this is actually a node that I like to look for anyways, a Phoenix squad, just if you need to cheese stuff on. But 3-starred, no problem, and we will get some secret intel there. For some reason, it didn't give me evasion down from HYoda. She didn't land any, but we got 29 secret intel, so honestly, I'm not that mad about it. And we can move forward. Okay, so another fun team, if you have them built up, and I hope you do because it is really quite fun, is your Inquisitors. So I am going to use Ground Inquisitor lead. You don't necessarily have to, but I am going to take advantage of it because I have it and go against a gas squad. Any Jedi node though, full Jedi team, I highly recommend just spamming your Inquisitors on while you're making your way through, especially if you see like those General Kenobi lead ones. You're just going to absolutely melt them. But this team is great because, one, it counts as a global feat for unaligned Force users, so you're going to get a tick towards those 40 battles. And if you're bringing 8th Brother with you, which I hope you are because his kit is fantastic, he has a blind ability, so you're able to take advantage that way and double dip on your Sector 1 feat. Okay, we'll speed this up. If you are like me, though, gas squads and Padme squads, I tend to save my General or my Jedi Master Kenobi for and just snipe out Gas or Anakin with Cat. And having Inquisitors in this case is really great because now you're not as worried about preserving your stamina if you're focusing on that and kind of managing it. You can just sort of melt your way through the team and carry on with the rest of the sector, which is fantastic. So highly, highly recommend using Inquisitors like crazy during this Conquest run. And we're sitting at 4 blind now. It's decent. Okay, so Bad Batch, really straightforward. I almost always use a CLS squad when I come up against a Bad Batch team. I just really enjoy shooting Echo first, getting him out of the way, and then the entire team just kind of crumbles from there and is really manageable. But you're also going to like CLS in this case because you've got specifically Chupio on the team here, but he's got his AoE blind with his first special, and he also has evasion down on his basic. The really fantastic thing with Chupio in this case is he's assisting on every single move that happens here on this team. So you're getting a lot of evasion down just from him assisting because it's his basic, which is why I want to milk this fight as much as possible and get him assisting as much as you possibly can. And then that way you can see we're already up to 9. So 5 evasion downs there. Really, really nice. Okay. This team here is fantastic for Jedi kills. We need evasion down still, which is great. And you're just also going to get blind with Jedi Knight Luke, which is also fantastic. So we're working on 3 of those feats here with one team. So Old Ben's basic has evasion down on it. So we're going to call him every single time we can, whether it's someone just using a regular assist or it is Jedi Master Luke's leadership ability. I'm always calling Old Ben here, and you're going to spam like crazy to get that evasion down. When it's Old Ben's turn, I just basic. I don't call anyone. I don't use any other abilities, and we're just basicing with him. Jedi Knight Luke has his blind on his first special, so we're able to inflict blind that way and get credit towards that feat. And again, it is a call to assist, so you're going to call Old Ben when you do it and get some more evasion down that way. And then the entire team here is Jedi, so it doesn't really matter who lands the kill. It's probably going to be Old Ben because we're calling him like crazy, but you are going to get those Jedi kills that way as well, the 50 that we need for Sector 1. So super fun team to work on 3 of the feats at once. Very easy to get through the nodes as well while you're making your way through the sector, so you're not really wasting any fights that way. And then you can see here, we are now at 21 evasion down. So really straightforward. Okay, so we are now at the mini boss. It is an odd team of enemies, I will say, which you will see here. But we do have a Hokey Religions feat, so this is where you want to win without using any Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users on your team. I am going to go in with Clone Troopers and Chewy. The reason why I'm using this team instead of Bam, Han, and Chewy like I normally do is because I haven't found a volatile accelerator yet. So this team, though, will get it done as well, and it's pretty straightforward. You can see, though, like I mentioned, this is a very hodgepodge team. Don't really understand it, but you've got Wat, you've got Wampa. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense. Ninth Sister is going to taunt like crazy because of that tank tech from Wat, so you do want to keep that in mind. The unfortunate side, to be honest, with this team is that there are no separatists on the enemy side, so Wat is kind of like, it seems kind of silly to have him there, but he can't revive anyone. And if he could revive people, I would recommend cheesing kills on this node, but he can't, so it doesn't really matter. But pretty straightforward. I saved Wampa for the end for whatever reason, and you can 3-star it. You can get your Hokey Religions feat, and you just have to come back to do the Hermit Yoda one afterwards. So I am going to do Hermit Yoda here. Since we're using him and we need Jedi kills, I'm going to do a full Jedi team. I think that is pretty wise in terms of getting this feat and also just working on as many feats as possible from Sector 1. So again, I want blind, I want evasion down. Hermit Yoda needs to survive. We want Jedi kills in general because we need that for Sector 1 as well. So overall, just a full Jedi team seemed like the best bet here. I am definitely going to speed this up because this is basically the exact same team I just showed you. Obviously calling Old Ben to get the evasion down. Jedi Luke's going to get his blind out there. And again, just spamming Old Ben for evasion down nonstop. Very, very straightforward. It feels considerably easier, to be honest, using Jedi against this team than it did with Clone Troopers. And I still, just for reference, don't have any data discs equipped at this point. So pretty clean in my opinion. And we'll get the credit for Hermit Yoda surviving. And we also get evasion down. We are done with that feat. So now we can have a look at the boss here. So T3M4 needs to survive, and we also need to win without a galactic legend. Like I mentioned earlier, this is currently bugged. It's actually no Jedi, Sith, or unaligned Force users. I anticipate a hotfix for it. But in the meantime, you can use a team like General Grievous with Nute that will get you credit for it. And again, normally I would do Bam, Han, and Chewy, but still no volatile accelerator, so that team's not going to be quite as effective. And I'll show you it next, but pretty straightforward. Is General Grievous with Nute. You just want to spam your target lock out there to kind of control them. I will speed this up because I think it's very straightforward how this works, and you don't need me to teach you how to play the General Grievous team. But again, this is going to work for all of your Hokey religion feats, and theoretically, if once they fix this, assuming it will stay as no galactic legend required on the team, then it will work for this feat as well. And if you are doing Bam, Han, and Chewy, that would work as well. And you would actually be able to get both feats done in one go, assuming you have the correct disc set up for it. So, like I said, very, very straightforward. No galactic legends on the squad, and that is currently booked. All right, so the only feat remaining is T3M4 surviving. The discs I have equipped, this is the team I'm going to use, Bam, Han, Chewy, Dash, T3M4. I have a fortified disc equipped, 2 zealous ambition discs, and an entrenched. So, like I said, I don't have volatile accelerator right now, so I can't spam all those debuffs and turn meter. So I just kind of threw this on for now to make it a little bit more survivable. If you have Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agni, this team will melt the enemies and they will not take a turn. And that will be my plan moving forward once, assuming they fix these data discs and they remove them in future conquests. So just to be completely transparent with you, that is the plan moving forward once I get the discs. I just want to show you the team though and how it doesn't necessarily quite go as fast as you want it to without that Volatile Accelerator disc equipped. But my T3M4 is very low gear. I believe he's gear 8, maybe gear 9 at the absolute tops. And you're just kind of managing the enemies and getting the win with him surviving. Again, if you do this squad, it also qualifies for no Galactic Legends / no Jedi, Sith, Unaligned Force user. So you could theoretically do one squad for both feats. All right, guys. So pretty straightforward, I think. Overall, this conquest is shaping up, even with some of the bugs and weird glitches and stuff going on. It is shaping up to be very smooth, very straightforward. I think we all are going to be pleasantly surprised. I will say I'm hoping to include this in Sector 2. I have not tried. That's a lie. I have tried winning with a Tusken squad of, not good Tuskens. I am going to do it on my own account and on Professor X. I want to show you both because our Tuskens are at different levels. And it did not work as of today because I did not have enough data discs equipped. I don't have enough good ones for it. It was extremely close, extremely close. And I say that having done it on the Professor X account, and he only has 1 Tusken in relics. So let's just keep that in mind. Again, I'm hoping to include it in Sector 2 so that you can see it and go over what data discs I use to make it happen. But I think even winning with Tuskens is going to be very easily attained for even low gear Tuskens. So we'll just keep that in mind, and I will have Sector 2 for you hopefully tomorrow. Thanks, guys, and I will see you then.